Well, for the first time in a while, there's been some thunderstorm activity in our area. Well, mainly off to the west, though. You see here, we have a front that's kind of cold front. That's a weak cold front. It's kind of just washing out a little bit. You can see it there on the satellite image. And if we look at the radar, there is all that thunderstorm activity that was over New Jersey kind of weakened. That was over New Jersey earlier. Um, but if we go to the AccuWeather radar here, you'll see that there's more over eastern Pennsylvania that is going to try to make its way into our area in kind of say a couple of hours. Though with the cool marine air, and if I have a tendency to think this is going to fall apart by the time it gets over here. So we'll go and look at our current conditions um, across the area. And we'll talk about the weekend weather as well. Right now, you can see it definitely is warmer out. 72, the dew point's up to 63. It hit 77 in Islip today, so I think it was still fairly cool, only in the 70s, a decent southeasterly wind. But you'll notice a big difference in the high temperatures. So across Long Island, we had only 70s. But as you go into New Jersey, you'll notice 80s. 80s, well into the 80s inland. So it was hotter, more heat to work with. That's where the thunderstorm activity has been for the most part. Looking at lows, West Hampton still managed to get down to 48. Everybody else was in the 50s. Tonight will not be as cool as it has been because of the cloud cover and because of the increasing wind that we have out there. And it's been kind of windy out there. We've had wind gusts here of 29 miles an hour at West Gilgo Beach. And that wind is going to be with us tomorrow as well. As far as skies go, last night, first of all, speaking of yesterday we had a lot of clouds, but toward the evening the clouds kind of thinned out. This is Long Beach as the sun was setting, and absolutely beautiful. And also took a look at the almost full moon, like three-quarters moon over the ocean there. And look at this. How many ships do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships just loitering offshore there. And then as far as today goes, we had a cumulonimbus kind of roll in on the horizon, I guess after 6 o'clock or so. You could see it kind of darkened things, blocked the sun a little bit. And this was these storms that was over, and you could see it almost had like that almost supercell look to it almost. They weren't severe storms. They were just kind of maybe on the strong side, but still pretty impressive cloud formations nonetheless, for sure, throughout this. So, yeah, we do have some threats for rain. Storm Prediction Center, let's first start over there. It's saying no severe thunderstorms forecast for tonight. For tomorrow, nothing in our area. But day 3, that's Saturday, we'll have to be watched, and it looks like they've placed us in a marginal risk for severe weather on Saturday. All right, looking at our weather map, you can see that there's a front that is approaching, and that is going to be the focus for some of this activity. This front is going to kind of wash out, though, a little bit. Okay, before we get started, let's go and take a look. We're going to go over the August climate card here. The kind of mini summary of the August weather. You can see all our climate sites are below normal, pretty much, and the biggest departure from normal was at LaGuardia. It's almost 3 degrees below normal for the temperatures, and precipitation all below normal. Islip being the worst, only 12% of normal, and 4th driest August on record at Islip as well. So quite impressive there. Of course, the warmest spot, of course, was Newark, New Jersey. Actually, no, LaGuardia was still on average the warmest, but still everybody was below normal pretty much. Not too bad of an August. Luckily, we kind of lucked out and avoided the heat for the most part. Close that out. We'll take a look at a larger view of the satellite. And today, of course, we were probably below normal again as well. If we looked at our weather here, you'd see that we were below normal as well. So let's go to the climate statistics for today. All right, so the climatologic report, high of 78, low of 58. So the high was right at normal, but the low of 58 was still 5 degrees below normal. So 2 degrees below normal. And you can see, though, that radar is definitely lighting up off to the west if we look at the high res here. Definitely they look like there could be some severe thunderstorms over here, but no warnings. Let's see how much lightning these are producing. Looks like the northeastern Pennsylvania is getting some decent thunderstorms. Not tons of lightning with these, so probably not severe. But it looks like they could produce a lot of rain, which definitely is needed because that's the next thing I'm going to bring up. The drought monitor. They still have us only in a DO, abnormally dry. However, I really think we're really in a D1 moderate drought because I've seen a lot of lakes dried up as you saw there in my video at Sears Bellows. So I think that moderate drought really should be painted across most of Long Island at this point. Obviously, I think they've been doing better in Ocean County, southern New Jersey, so they can be left alone. But I think Long Island in particular, and you can see it's been quite dry up in Maine, and also that stretches into maritime Canada, where they've actually had some issues with wildfires. Now, there is a wildfire called the Buck-a-Bear. Yeah, I'm not kidding. That is the name, Buck-a-Bear. If we go Buck-a-Bear here, it is 106. Let's see what it is up to right now. So it is. Let's see the latest update from the NJ Forest Fire Service. We'll go to the X. So this is the latest update. 160 acres, 50% contained. That was at 9 a.m. though. Let's see if we can get a more recent update here. This is 1 hour ago, so it is up to 185 acres at 60% containment. This is in northern New Jersey, not the Pine Barrens, but still something that needs to be watched for sure because it has been very dry. And that is, again, if we don't see rain, that risk is going to keep going up and up. I'll just take you to the Conus satellite view, and you can see there is some smoke coming from the west here, like a plume of smoke you can see coming from western Canada, and there's also been a lot of wildfires in the northwest that may make its way east and affect us on Saturday before we get into some cooler air. You can definitely see that smoke right there, and so we'll have to talk about that as well. So let's go and look at the models now, and we'll first start with the European here, and we have the 12Z on here, which is the one I want. And we'll show you what's going to be happening through the weekend. So you can see it could be some rain overnight, and then Friday will largely be dry, and then a better chance of rain Saturday. But the Euro still kind of has it just off to the northwest, as you see there. It's like, again, this front kind of gets stuck, washes out, stalls out, and then slowly pushes offshore on Sunday with high pressure building in the next week with nice weather. Okay, so get the general idea of what we're going to be dealing with. So let's go to the HRRR to start. Actually, we still don't have enough the full zeros of the HRRR in, I guess, because I started this video a little bit earlier than I normally do. So we'll go to the European first, and we'll see how much rainfall the European is bringing to us, and then we'll come back to the HRRR toward the end, I guess, when we're done with everything else. So you can see, not really a whole lot. You can see what's going on. The heaviest rain just off to the northwest. We kind of miss out on most of it. And this is all because of, we'll go ahead and look at our dew points wind flow on this. So the humidity does increase, but you notice there's a strong southerly flow. So that marine flow helps to keep things stable on Long Island, whereas inland, it's hotter. There's more instability. You can see the drier air off to the north. So you see we have a stalled front situation going on here. And that will be with us on Saturday, too, as well. Where we'll continue to see that southerly flow. But again, that means that the more the heat is going to be more inland. Long Island will avoid temperatures that are going to get too hot. It's just going to be more humid. Then on Sunday, you can see that drier air slowly build in from west to east, and then much nicer, drier weather comes in for the weekend. All right, so temperatures. You can see temperatures tomorrow. Will be warmer inland. Jersey, probably 80s. But for Long Island, actually, no, that's today. My mistake. Friday, much hotter inland. So tomorrow, so I knew that was wrong, 85 to 90 perhaps in Jersey. For Long Island, probably only, if you're on the South Shore, I think you're still going to see 70s. Inland here in Mineola, we're probably going to get above 80, probably low 80s. Nothing terrible. It'll be a little bit above normal. It won't cool off much at night. And then Saturday is going to be the hottest day, I think, where we're going to see more like mid-80s in Nassau and possibly low 90s if you're in Jersey. So that's going to be the hottest day that we're going to have. And you can see the difference there between that hot air and then the cooler air that's off. That's going to be moving in on Sunday, where temperatures are only going to be in the 70s. And then next week, we're going to have very comfortable weather again, even cooler than what we experienced this week with highs perhaps only around 70s. So it's going to be really pleasant next week. But we've got to get through a little bit. Hopefully, we get some rain out of this. It would be nice. So let's look at the NAM. I have the 18Z NAM to work with here, and we're going to look at what the NAM is doing for radar here. And you'll see here, not really showing much. It pretty much doesn't give us anything tonight. All right. Friday is dry, and then Saturday would be our next chance. And you can see there's a line that forms, and could be against some severe weather in this area, especially north and west. But again, it fizzles when it gets out over here again. So same deal again. It just fizzles out, and that's what really sucks about it. And we don't see much rain. And the NAM-12 goes a little further out. Let's see. So there may be some rain overnight, perhaps later. NAM-12, a little lower resolution, so it looks a little bit better. Maybe we get a little rain overnight into the Sunday, but total accumulated precip still probably won't be much. All right, this is actually a little different. So here's an interesting thing. So the NAM-12 is saying that the western part of Long Island could get into some heavier rain, 1 to 2 inches, less out east. But this is still better than what we've seen. But if we go to the NAM-3, it's totally different. So, because the NAM-12's resolution is not as high. So, it still has the usual heavier rain off the north and west, and Long Island barely gets anything, which is not what we want to see. So, we'll go and look at the HRRR now. Still stuck at 35. I don't know, some kind of delay going on. So we're not going to really get a look at what's going to happen on Saturday from the HRRR, unfortunately. So we'll just go ahead and I don't think it's even going to take us out that far anyway. But what I see here doesn't look that impressive. So here we are again tonight. We might get a couple of showers overnight. Mainly best chances in Nassau County. And then tomorrow's quiet. And then we see again Saturday would be our next chance. All right, it just went up to 40 now, so we'll see if it'll go. We need a little bit more here, but we'll look at the dew points and wind flow. I'll show you what we have. So you see we have that southerly flow. Now to start with, it might be a little southwesterly, and then it kind of becomes southerly. Dew points will be high, not atrociously tropical, but you'll definitely be feeling a bit of humidity level and moderate level levels of humidity in the air. And then Saturday, this one doesn't even go out as far, so it's kind of useless right now. So I don't know. We'll have to go look at some other stuff. Let's go look at the HDRPS. Over here we have the 18Z HDRPS. So let's look at that again tonight. Really promising, but then it fizzles. And then here we are. Saturday, and that's as far as we've got on Saturday. So may have to do another video tomorrow night or Saturday. If things look impressive Saturday night, I will do another video. Otherwise, my next video will be Sunday night. But let's go to the FV3. I know the E0. That's not really gonna probably take us far enough out either. I want to see Saturday. All right, here's the FV3's interpretation of Saturday. A little bit better. So we'll have to see. Again, this front is going to slow down, and hopefully that'll give us a chance to get some showers and thunderstorms in here Saturday night, so we can get some rainfall here, because we have another dry stretch coming. And if we don't get any rainfall, this is not going to be good at all. So we need some rain. I mean, I'll take anything at this point, but we really need at least an inch would really be nice if we could get that. But I don't know if we're going to see that. So let's focus on skies next. And then I'm going to come back to the HRRR, and hopefully by then we'll have more of it in. So, as you see here, clouds kind of came in tonight. Tomorrow we'll start with some clouds, and then there'll be plenty of sunshine. Maybe just a scattered high cloud or two, maybe a scattered cumulus cloud. But fairly sunny skies. And we had a lot more cloud buildup today than some of the models were showing. We had a lot of cumulus buildup. That could happen tomorrow. It's possible. It's mainly an inland issue. And then for Saturday, we're going to start with sunshine, and it's still showing sunshine. And then the clouds kind of come in later on in the day. And then as far as Sunday goes, we're probably going to be dealing with cloud cover for much of the day on Sunday. Again, this front's kind of slow to push offshore. We're probably going to have to wait till Monday before we get into the clearing originally. Sunday was supposed to be a clear day, but you know what happens with stall front syndrome. We never have fronts move through normally, almost never. So I said GFS showing the same kind of thing, and then it kind of moves out there. Now, I do want to run the GFS total accumulated precip as well. I know it's a lower resolution. The GFS also a little more promising. Let's go to the icon as well. So this is the icon, a little more promising. But these are all lower resolution models. That's why I wanted to see the HRRR. We'll look at a different variation of the HRRR, which is the HRRR smoke model, because we may be dealing with some smoke around. So let's go look at the 18Z smoke model. Vertically integrated smoke here. We'll go ahead and look at that. So you can see that big plume there that we may get caught up in. Not so much tomorrow, but as we get into Saturday. And then we have to wait for this front to come through and kind of push it off to the east. So we may be dealing with some air quality issues perhaps on Saturday, along with the warmth. We'll see if any of it's near the surface at all. Let's see if we see any near surface smoke. Not really seeing any of it near the surface, but I can't rule out some degradation in air quality. And again, this is from wildfires that are going on if we go look at the satellite imagery, we'll go ahead and look at the Pacific Northwest. And we have a lot of fires going on here. You can see there's a lot of smoke. So you can see all that smoke over there. Lots of it right there. A lot of fires because they've been going through. There's a drought. They're going through dry conditions. And it's also been warm. There's been a ridge over there. So it's been warm. So warm and dry, obviously, is conditions for wildfires. And if we look at Canada, should we do the southeastern Alaska, actually, probably show it up even better here. You'll see that there are some fires in Canada, too, western Canada as well. So well, yeah, there's a lot. Look at British Columbia right here. This is a bad spot right here. So it looks like some big fires in British Columbia. So any air that's, oh, you look at that. Look at that puff right there. That is a pyrocumulus cloud right there. And that can actually create lightning and start more wildfires. Look at that. Wow, that's impressive. That is impressive. So now let's go back to the models, and we will look again at the HRRR before I wrap up this video and see. Hopefully we've got more of that in so we can show you. We're at 40 hours now. You can see, again, those dew points there. Still not showing the whole day on Saturday, but you can see it's certainly going to heat up. Let's see, you can see it's already 16Z. You're already seeing, I think it's 90 is a good bet in Jersey, but I don't think Long Island is going to see it. That southerly flow. I really don't. So, but if you're in Jersey, you're definitely going to see it. Cape values. All right, again, this isn't going to go that far out, but there is some Cape here. So again, the best Cape levels are going to be over there. So again, if I see anything more interesting, I guess I will have to do another video tomorrow night because the model seems to be a little slow getting loaded here, unfortunately. This is part of the problem. When you're in daylight savings, it takes a while to get models to load. Sometimes they depend. Sometimes I'm lucky, and sometimes it's already done. But tonight, unfortunately, it's not exactly happening. So we will have to watch for those Cape levels and take a look and see what's going to be happening. I don't think NAM gives us Cape. Oh, it does. Good. All right. Look at the NAM then. Okay. So here's the NAM. Saturday, and you can see best Cape is over Jersey. Not too much Cape over us. So that is what will have to be watched. Best chance, I think, for thunderstorms is where the heat is, obviously in Jersey. So that is all I got for you tonight. Have a good night. And again, if there's any severe threats, if things look a little more impressive for rainfall, I'll do another video Friday night. We'll talk about it. And then we'll recap on Sunday what happens. Hopefully we get some rainfall because we really need some. Have a good night.